Grief Chapter came out yesterday. It's out for the people. So how does that feel?
It feels really good. It feels like this one feels like it like because we released so many singles, like so many songs came out beforehand, so it just feels like it's been a long time coming. So it's exciting that it's finally out for everyone to hear all the songs, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah,
playing The
good.
Matrix, and then I've been seeing everyone posting about the album. I'm just like, oh, this is just such a good feeling to be like, it's out there, the people can enjoy it at full.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. It's like it's out there for the people to like do whatever they want with. Some people
Yeah.
will hate it, some people will absolutely love it, and people will have their opinions, but it's always good to kind of like release the baby out into the
Yes.
world and see what people feel,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Put
It's
that little
interesting.
musical baby out there.
Exactly.
So how does it feel to have like this younger generation discover and dig up so many early Mother tracks? That's kind of what went really viral on TikTok. The love they have for those songs is so incredible because to me, those are the really like special Mother songs. So how did that all feel?
I mean, as you can imagine, it was a huge surprise. And the funny thing is like I really feel like the Zone in Victoria, you guys like were such huge champions of Hayloft back in the day and like played the crap out of Hayloft and we're always like Hayloft and we were like yes, Hayloft as well. Like we thought it always kind of deserved to see more of a light of day than it did and just like nobody believed in it like other than you and and us and like our even our like people who are quite close to us we're like it's a good it might just be a good live song but it's not really like it wasn't radio friendly at the time unless you're a cool radio station
Okay.
and so to have these kids like I just think it's a generation of kids that are sharing music super differently and they're a different generation and they just kind of got it. They just got it in like such a different way. So it's like it's a miracle actually. It's an absolute miracle. We've been waiting for this generation for 20 years. So it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be the coolest experience. Just to me, those are the Mother songs that I like treasure, the kind of weirder ones that I'm like, I don't think my mom would listen to this, but this is my favorite version of this song.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that was a really like Ryan could obviously speak to this much better, but I was around for all that era as well, and like when he was writing and everything. And I just think there's you're never gonna be able to like recreate those first songs that like he was creating like in like a practice module in music school when he was studying jazz and like he's making these kind of freaky folk bizarre kind of songs and then producing them with Howard Redekop who's like also super creative and I just think it was like it was a magical time in his and like every I mean he's very prolific, all of the music is amazing, but of course you're never going to be able that time was just some kind of magic in the air. Yeah, because I agree, I love all those, I cherish all of those things as well. Yeah, love that era.
Well, now with Grief Chapter, the act of going through grief is so heavy. It's so all-encompassing. So with that in mind, today, what are three things that you're really grateful for?
Ooh, oh my gosh, so much to be grateful for. I'm super grateful for my dog.
Dog is so cute.
Thank you. She's so sweet. I love her. She's so funny, such a personality. I'm super grateful for my family and my partner, like the people in my life, basically. And I am grateful to be healthy. Yeah, yeah,
That's
three
great.
good
That's perfect. Yes, three very good things.
things.
So, how did y'all approach creating the songs for Grief Chapter compared to previous albums? Because you were saying that, yeah, the early stuff of Mother is so different. So, did you get a chance to kind of play around a little bit differently with Grief Chapter?
I think the recording process was quite different. I think Ryan's writing process is always relatively similar. Like whether it's in a cold, dark room by himself or in like backstage in a green room, he kind of always has the same process. And he basically like starts messing around with chord progressions. He's quite a proficient guitar player, and so knows a lot of different interesting voicings, and he goes into really interesting chord progressions and stuff. He's really like playful that way. So he'll play around, and then he starts kind of, maybe humming like a bit of a melody, and then through humming the melody, he starts kind of spitting gibberish out. Like this is how each song becomes a song.
Yeah.
He starts kind of like, for something like normalize, the beginning is like run around with my mouth loud. He might be like like it's just like nothing.
Yeah.
And then slowly I feel like it's weird, like he has this kind of antenna that he like puts up into the
Mm.
cosmos, and the gibberish starts to like form into something, and he somehow magically, like a theme usually comes.
Uh,
And around the theme, it's literally like I watch him put it together, like puzzle pieces are coming
uh,
together. And a story or a theme emerges,
mm.
and then he's an expert wordsmith. So then he kind of places everything together in a really like logical and smart wordsmithy way. And as you can tell, I'm not the wordsmith in the band. And and then the songs are born, and that's sort of more or less like sometimes there's some collaboration in terms of lyrics and stuff like that. Especially when we're on tour and we're all together a lot. But generally, that's how it works. The recording process was really different this time because we had a huge amount of time in terms of playing around, and I think a lot of different and more experimental stuff happened because we had so much time and space. Yeah, so yeah, it was really cool and also very different.
Nice. It makes, like, when you're describing his process, I'm picturing him as Mickey Mouse and Fantasia, just like creative chaos.
Totally. I think that's sort of what it is. I
Yeah.
think there's a really funny I don't know if it was on YouTube or like something that came up in Instagram, but it's just this little clip of it's Fiona Apple and oh gosh, the guy who directed From Dusk Till Dawn. Give me a big
Um,
director, big horror
I
director.
want to say George Romero, but I think that's wrong.
No, it'll
I know who
it'll
you're
come.
talking of.
Yeah, yeah, very. So they're having an extremely pretentious conversation in the back seat of like a limo, and talking about how like I don't know where my creative ideas from. I just put my antenna up there in the universe and it just flows right through me. And like it was super funny to see them talking about it, the two of them, because it was like it did come off very like okay, like super like has an antenna to the cosmos. But I swear to you that in watching Ryan do that, sometimes I really do feel like really hyper creative people really do have antennas into the
Yeah.
cosmos.
They
So,
plug in and just like something within them changes and they're all internet connected.
exactly. Yeah, it's just sort of like that creative energy just flows through them and we all I think can harness that power and tap into it. I just think some people like more easily connect to it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, some people it's a lot harder. Like they look at a blank sheet of paper and they're like, I have no idea where to start. Whereas some people
Yeah.
they can just like start something and then it grows and grows and grows.
Exactly. Quentin
Uh,
Tarantino.
Quentin Tarantino, I was about to say, I was like, it's the guy with the feet thing. Good old
Kill Bill,
Quentin.
all that good stuff. Yeah, Quentin Tarantino and Fiona Apple.
What an interesting pairing. Hmm.
I know. It seems like an odd two people to be riding in a limo together, but yeah.
Definitely. It's the internet.
Mhm.
So I was reading about how you kind of came across the name for the album. Could you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, I think it's funny because I think we were kind of having a hard time deciding on the name. And I think Ryan had written the song. The song had already like emerged. And I think it just struck him one day. Like he was just like, this has to be the name of the album. I think we've all, like when he talks about the theme in terms of like, what does grief chapter mean? Like everyone probably has had a grief chapter or two or five or 100 in their lives. And I think the idea is really like, the theme is around death
Mhm.
and kind of keeping death close enough to your heart and in your mind that you can have that deep understanding of how precious and short life really is. So it's a positive theme, but comes and is spurred from the idea of death and how fleeting life really is and how quickly it ends. And I think, especially in our society, we don't talk about death um, as much as we probably should, and maybe in the right ways, you know? So, anyway, I think that's where the title comes from.
I think
Yeah.
exactly that. People are so afraid to talk about it because it makes it so much more real. And
Hmm.
once you start getting into the topic of death, so many other things come up. So many people are so afraid of it. So many people have such challenges dealing with grief. It's not easy to approach, but when you do, it breaks it down a little bit. It makes it a little less daunting.
100%. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Well, it's still daunting, but
Yes, it's still very much a chapter in your life that you're like, okay, I think I've moved past from this. Let's open up a new book, open up a new chapter.
totally. My
Yeah.
mom always was talking, she lost her dad quite early in life, and she was talking about, and has lost many people close to her. Was talking about how she wished that she could bottle up the feeling of like that, the initial stages of when you lose someone really close to you. If you could just take that feeling, not necessarily like all of that sadness, but that feeling of like the real understanding that like the small things really, really, really don't matter. You know, like if you could just bottle that up, and whenever you're feeling ungrateful or crappy, you can take the bottle out and pour some on yourself
A
or
little
sniff
magic
it.
sauce.
Yeah, a little magic sauce, exactly. But I
Yeah.
think it's so true because the further away you get from that experience, or if you've never experienced death close to you, then you may have not experienced that, and I think that's an important one, that and certainly we will all experience it at some point or another. Yeah.
Definitely. I think you look at the world a little differently. You see opportunities differently. You see all those little moments that bring you joy, like my cat meowing. I'm just like, oh, you're the most
Yeah,
perfect thing in
right.
the world. How could I not appreciate how perfect you are?
Yes. Yeah.
Little
The
moments
small
like that.
things. The
Yeah,
small things,
yeah,
just like enjoying like the sunshine hitting your skin, or
absolutely.
enjoying your bed, or whatever it is, right?
Yeah,
Just these small, beautiful things.
yeah. And the whole idea of like gratitude and being grateful, that exact practice, it helps so much with all of those other things.
It does.
Okay, well, how did it feel to announce an arena show in Vancouver?
Oh my God, it's super exciting and also like so scary. It's scary. I think we're ready. Like we've never been more ready before. So it's gonna be an amazing show. Like we've really stepped up our game in terms of like production and lights and just like our own performances, and we've got some cool new props, and like it's exciting. And so, but how cool to play such a huge show at home like that. Like it's gonna be wild. All of our friends and family will be there. Yeah, really exciting though. And really exciting to be headline, like doing a co-headline with Cave
Hmm.
Town. I don't know if you know much about Cave Town, but they're
I've
really
listened to
cool.
their music a little bit, so when I saw the announcement, I was like, "Oh, what a pairing!"
Yes, super, super cool. Yeah. Yeah, we're excited. I love that song, Devil Town. You heard that one?
I'm gonna have to look it up.
You have to look it up. It's a
I
it's a
think
good
we featured one of their songs because the name immediately, I was like, I've definitely heard this band before.
one.
Okay, well, to wrap it up, what song is maybe the one that you're most excited to get to play for people as you start touring with the album from Grief Chapter?
Oh, um, oh my gosh, they're all so fun. Nobody Escapes is probably my favorite one live right now.
Yeah.
That one is really, really fun. And The Matrix.
The
Those
Matrix.
two are, yeah, those two are really fun to play. So it's pretty exciting.
Of course, we play
Before,
the edited version, and it's so hard for
right.
not to be like, because I know the proper words, and I always
Yeah,
just want to be like, ah, because it feels so good to yell it.
it does. And then the ending too. I think the ending gets cut off where it's like the big weird sax solo. They
Radio
cut
people
it
are
off.
like,
I know, I
like
know.
save that. Those are the best bits.
It's so too bad because yeah, absolutely, those are the
Yeah.
best. Those are the best bits.
Okay,
Um,
well,
I need
sorry,
to
go
tell
ahead.
you, I need to say before we
Yes,
end that I should probably say the date of our arena show because my
yes,
otherwise our management will be like, "I forgot to tell them when it was." So
yes. When is your arena show?
it is Saturday, June 15th in Vancouver at Rogers Arena with Cave Town.
It's gonna
Yep.
be an event.
It's gonna be awesome.
I'm so excited. Very much looking forward to it. Jasmine, I hope the start of the tour is so fabulous. Say hi to everyone else for me. Give them a big kiss on the cheek. And thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you so much for your time. Lovely to speak to you.
You
Have a
too.
wonderful day.
You too. Bye, Jasmine.
Bye.
You're in the zone at 91.3.